It's Zilliqa time! Zilliqa! Yeah! It's been a long time since we talked about Zilliqa, and they have just launched their mainnet, so let's talk about Zilliqa, guys. Yes, they have just launched the mainnet, and interestingly, they're going to have a 1-month bootstrap phase where essentially usability will be very limited. This is what they're calling a safety period. So there will be no transactions made on the network, but miners will still be able to receive rewards, but they will just be unable to spend them until the safety period is over. Kind of a cool step in terms of making sure that the technology is actually working on the mainnet as it's supposed to be. Being safe, nothing wrong with being safe, guys, when it comes down to it. Safety first, as they say. Also, because the mainnet swap has just happened, this is a reminder to everyone to make sure you're aware of how to swap the tokens. Many exchanges like Binance will be supporting the token swap. You will have until June to do it. So make sure you figure out what exchange you need to do it on and get those ERC20 tokens swapped over for ZIL mainnet tokens. Exchanges have not said exactly when it's going to happen, but keep your eyes out. So where is Zilliqa now, and what has Zilliqa been up to? Well, before the launch of the mainnet, they did have multiple security audits to make sure that it was secure, that the code worked. So it seems good, but again, we are still going through that 1-month bootstrap period to make sure that really everything is as planned. So there's that. The speed of Zilliqa. Now the advertised speed, 2,828 transactions per second. Nice. How are they doing that? Sharding. What's sharding, Lark? Well, it's a good thing that you asked. Considering that the scalability issues we've been discussing so much have been a major part of the conversation in 2018 and now going into 2019, sharding is one of the many ways that has been discussed as a way to make blockchains scale more effectively. Yeah, we have second layer solutions with things like Lightning and Raiden, and then we have different ways of batching things together, but this allows for a high amount of on-chain transactions. So essentially what sharding is it splits the computational load of blockchain transactions. So nodes establish consensus in smaller groups, making transactions faster and cheaper than if they were processed by the entire network. Now with Zilliqa specifically, we are going to have 6 shards. So imagine there's 6 different smaller groups who come to consensus. There'll be 600 nodes per shard for very high security. So if a malicious attacker wanted to come in and attack the network, they would need to control 400 nodes on any given shard, and then they would control 1/6 of the network. This is a very unlikely attack vector, though, because if an attacker was able to direct the attack at a single shard, that's if, Zilliqa randomizes the nodes between shards, thus making an attack near impossible because of that randomization process. Obviously, if we compare that over to Bitcoin, where every node confirms every transaction, it is more secure in a way, but it is famously inefficient. That's why we have such a low transactions per second with Bitcoin and with Ethereum. Zilliqa is trying to strike that balance of different technological implementations to make it so that we can have faster and cheaper transactions. That's where the shard groups come in to play. So only 1/6 of the network versus the entire network needs to agree on consensus. Now, the network also has its own bug-resistant Scilla smart contracts that can also use sharding. But it is another new smart contract language. I'm glad I'm not a programmer. So many languages. Seriously, every blockchain's got them, or at least most of them have them. Some are compatible with Solidity, for example, but Cardano's got Haskell, Zilliqa's got Scilla, and Ethereum's got Solidity, and a whole bunch of other programming languages for smart contracts, so there's all that going on. It'll be what it'll be. People who want to use Zilliqa will learn to program in that language. Also, Zilliqa is one of the very few practical Byzantine fault-tolerant blockchains. So essentially, a PBFT-style consensus mechanism while being efficient, also gives finality to transactions so that confirmations are not required. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Now, what about Zilliqa mining? Some things here for you on Zilliqa mining. Miners will only need to run the proof of work process for the first 5 minutes of every 1.5 hour cycle. Kind of cool. Now, this basically results in a much lower electricity cost. It is also possible to dual mine Zilliqa and Ethereum. Cool. That again gives you that you only need to do it for 5 minutes every 1.5 hours, right? Currently, ASICs, these are the big mining computer boxes, right? Specifically designed to mine cryptocurrencies on one algorithm. Currently, the existing ASICs are not suitable for mining Zilliqa. As the past has proven, somebody's gonna come up with a Zilliqa mining ASIC. It's just a matter of time. You wait, Zilliqa. Where there's a will, there's a way. Where there's money to be made, there's ASICs to be made. Also, the miners are rewarded based on their contribution of valid signatures per epoch. So mining rewards are far more distributed compared to the existing winner-takes-all kind of model. It's a pretty novel incentive mechanism to help reward miners by measuring out the contribution that they're making to the overall consensus protocol. And this will actually allow thousands of different miners, potentially, to be rewarded for a single mined block, which is cool. Compare that to Bitcoin, where it's all that power goes in and just one person walks away with 12.5 Bitcoin. So it's different. I like that it's different. Essentially, we're going to see the proof of work mechanism here being for Sybil attack resistance. The energy footprint will be lower, which is nice. So that's something to look forward to in terms of being positive in the way that they're approaching their mining. And what about the ecosystem for Zilliqa? Overall, the ecosystem for Zilliqa, obviously, look, we just had the mainnet start, so we're a ways away from seeing some giant flourishing ecosystem happening, but there are a lot of dApps which are currently being built and will be running on Zilliqa. So I'll share just a few of them here. We have Mindshares, that's an ads platform. We have Bolt, which is content delivery focusing on, for example, East Asia and Southeast Asia and developing places in Africa, for example. We have InMedia, which I actually did a review on a while ago. This is an insurance platform. We have Impetuous One, which is an incentives market. We have TransactTrain, supply chain, of course. We have Emont Frenzy, which is gaming. And Zilliqa is also going to be powering the HG Exchange, which will be the first member-driven exchange in Southeast Asia for privately held shares and security token offerings for startups. That's really cool. That's really cool. So it's nice to see that security token platform also being part of something that Zilliqa is offering. They also have some really big partners. They are partnered up with DMM Internet. This is the Japanese internet monster. Now, DMM was into Bitcoin mining. They've since shut down their Bitcoin mining operations, but that does not mean that they're getting completely out of blockchain and crypto, as evidenced by their partnership with Zilliqa. We have Asteria, which is a Tokyo Stock Exchange listed company focused on software development, also partnered up with Zilliqa. Looking at the future of Zilliqa, we have some core protocol enhancements coming in 2019, as well as increased language support. The team is also exploring different implementations for things like ZK Snarks. ZK Snarks, good times. And really, the mainnet from Zilliqa is just yet another gauntlet laid in front of Ethereum's feet. But we need to see more dApps. We need to see more marketing. We need to see more presence for Zilliqa. We need to see them getting out there and getting the message across, getting brand awareness. Because right now, Ethereum's the big dog. Everyone knows Ethereum's got great brand awareness. Thinking about outside of the crypto, our tiny little crypto bubble, people know about Bitcoin. If they're going to know about any other cryptocurrencies, it's probably going to be XRP or Ethereum. That's keeping it real. The biggest market caps, they get talked about the most. Ethereum's got the most partnerships and all this, but we know about Ethereum's famous scaling problems, the famous delays of the solutions to their scaling problems. So Zilliqa's sharding on mainnet could be a very, very enticing offer for developers who are frustrated with Ethereum. We could see this being another point of migration for projects that are built on Ethereum, but for whom Ethereum is not working. Anyway, just my thoughts on Zilliqa, a bit of an update about where Zilliqa is, how the ecosystem is building out, and why sharding is an important part of the equation. I would love to know your thoughts on Zilliqa. Do you think that sharding is going to be the key to scalability in blockchains? Do you think that this is going to be big competition for Ethereum? Let me know about it down below in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. As always, you guys are awesome. Keep it classy out there. If you enjoyed the video, leave a thumbs up on it. You can subscribe to the channel if you are new around here and you want to know more about crypto. You can always hit that notification bell down below to know when I put out a new video. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.